core Java is your prerequisite. Okay, so that you need to have. So there is no doubt on it. Okay, core Java is your prerequisite. I don't ask for those basic prerequisite like data type and all this thing. That is a mandate. But you must have some idea towards your exception handling, like this kind of stuff. And little multi-threading is required here. Okay, and collection is required. So the things are required in a different context. Okay, but these things are necessary. And having some good understanding towards your object-oriented part, particularly the inheritance kind of thing. Okay, so this is one important thing. Okay, and the other things you might know. So I don't know. But coming to your advanced Java. Okay, so in advanced Java, I would like to clarify a few things. So there are some misconceptions among the students. Okay, students thinking like advanced Java as J2EE or Java EE. Okay, so anyone thinking on that way? Okay, just try to clarify. We are not learning the complete J2EE. Okay, so we are learning few things, no doubt, from the J2EE platform, such as your servlet, JSP kind of thing. I'll show you the basic difference. Like what exactly that. I don't know how to move this one because I'm new to this. Look into the J2EE particularly. Okay, um, and J2EE in video will be finding it in a very proper way. Okay, so just observe here what is the J2EE itself and your advanced Java, what you're learning. There is no such concept called as advanced Java in practicality in Java ecosystem. Okay, it is for our convenience for teaching and all these things. We decided something called advanced Java. Okay, so the advanced Java is just taking you, like one step ahead from your core Java, but it is not making you complete J2E developer. Okay, so that's a wrong notion many people have. Okay, so here you can observe like the J2E is in its seventh version right now, which is a general availability. J2E 8, like possibly undergoing and expected somewhere in 2017. Okay, but if you look into this Java EE 7, okay, you'll be finding the different technology here. Okay, so this is the technological stack of your J2E 7 particularly. Okay, and in J2E 7 you'll be finding more than 30 to 40 different technology. I mean, there are 40 plus technologies available. Okay, and if you are simply thinking like, okay, we are learning J2E, that's a wrong notion, because if you are putting this J2E on your resume, the interviewer got the chance to ask any of these things. Okay, so he can put a question from any of these 40 plus technology possible here. Okay, but what we are targeting here in this advanced Java is few thing, that is that to like not all the thing of this web technology stack, instead few thing out of here. Okay, our area is here only. Okay, this is like if you're looking into this J2E, you'll be finding the J2E is having something called as web application technologies. It is having something called as enterprise technologies. And if you're just going down, you're having other things also, like web service related technology and management and security related technology. So it's a huge one, like the J2E is a very big one. Okay, but our interest is on this particular area, that is the web application technologies. Okay, so meaning from this you can understand that after learning your advanced Java, that means in our advanced Java we are bringing few things from here and making a curriculum called as advanced Java. Okay, so if you look into this, what are the things we are going to include is from the J2E platform. Okay, observe here. From the J2E platform, we are bringing something called as the Java servlet. Okay, particularly the servlet. Okay, the JSP. Okay, and you might be knowing about. So I'm just confirming. Okay, we are bringing one more technology that is called a JDBC. That is from your Java SC platform. Okay, that's a Java SC technology. Okay, and these are the Java EE technology. Okay, JDBC is one technology from your Java SC platform we are bringing, and these are your Java EE technologies. Okay, so from your Java EE technology, basically we'll be having something called a servlet JSP, And you can find here, right, Java servlet and the Java server pages, that the JS. Okay, so these are the two things we are bringing. And like depending on the time, okay, so how we are moving forward, I can fetch some more technology from here. I repeat again, like according to the technology, we will be having these three things. Okay, let me confirm this one. We'll be having JDBC, servlet, and JSP. These are the three technology as part of your Java, advanced Java, where JDBC is coming from your Java SC technology stack, and servlet and JSPs are coming from your Java EE stack. Okay, but if you're looking into the Java servlet and Java server pages, that is the JSP, these are the technology which we are referring as web application technology. Okay, so that means if you are learning is your Java servlet, the JSP kind of thing, you are making yourself, like much more eligible to develop some kind of web related application. Okay, so on your core programming, you might have did console based application, some standalone GUI based application. Okay, but here we are going to like develop web based application. Okay, we refer that as web application. So these are the web application related technology. But again, if you look into, like there are many web application related technologies. You can see here, like we got Java servlet, we got Java server faces, we got expression language EL, we got JSP, we got JSTL, we got the Java API for JSON processing, for the Java API for WebSocket. So it is around 7 to 8 different technologies are there. Okay, but out of this, like depending on the time and the convenience what we are having in future, I may bring, I repeat again, I may bring these things, that is the JSTL, okay, and I may bring the EL, okay. So these are the technology we may finish, like the last. But for your understanding, this is according to the curriculum, okay, and these are the extra thing that I may bring actually at the last, okay. So these are the thing what we are going to learn. Okay, and particularly the sequence will be this, and with this, like you don't need to misunderstand again that all the web application technologies of the Java E. Okay, if you can just cross check here, it is around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 different technology, and I'm just listed 4 different technologies here. Okay, so don't again misunderstand that you learn all the web application related technology. You are not like completely learning this stack itself. Okay, so if you like spend some amount of time, you can do this particular thing like the JSON processing, WebSocket. These are very small thing, but the JSF could be a little bigger for you. It itself is a very big technology. Okay, the Java server faces. Okay, so keep this one aside because we got a lot of different competitor for this technology. But like the Java platform, the Java Enterprise Edition platform, web technology stack, if you look into, it is collection of around 7 technology, and we are just listing 4 technology. Okay, so just confirm about that. Any question you would like to raise regarding this? Anyone?
What about the frameworks like Spring, Hibernate? You're
No,
going to
no, no.
teach about that?
So those are used to be taught in a separate way, meaning like this is one separate, advanced Java is separate, frameworks are separate. When those are there, if you want to learn, you can learn, but those are separate. They used to be taught in a separate, not part of your advanced Java. Because see, that is what I'm saying. In the advanced Java, if you're targeting only this web application technology stack, it itself is becoming very huge. Are you understanding or not? Feel free to put the question, but before putting the question, make sure that your background noise are, like little bit stuff. Yeah, anyone else?
So only these topics you are going to teach
Yes, as part
in
of
advanced
advanced Java.
Java.
Yeah.
Okay, so servlets, JSP, JSTL, and EL. Only these 4 technologies we are going to learn in advanced Java, right?
No, we have JDBC also, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
comes from Java SC platform. That's not part of Java E. Meaning, like this term advanced Java is coined by the market. Like there's nothing called as advanced Java in Java ecosystem itself. Java community, Java platform, if you look into, we call Java SC, Java Standard Edition. We call Java EE, Java Enterprise Edition, the Micro Edition, the Java FX. So those are the platform, but in the for the convenience of teaching and all these things, people just divided these things. Yeah, that's for convenience in teaching. Because in one go you cannot take a lot of technology into your head. That's the only reason. What is your name particularly? I don't think like I'm listening all of you. So one by one, if you can come in, we can have a little interaction such that I can move forward towards JDBC. What is your name?
My name, myself, Vinay.
Binay. Okay. So others forcing me to look into this. Who is Durga Prasad?
I'm Durga Prasad.
Yeah.
Um,
So
actually, I thought advanced means EJBs,
no,
Java
that
based.
that will come, that will come as part of your J2E. So that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. So yeah, you can see it here. That comes under your enterprise edition stuff here. If you look into the EJB kind
Okay.
of stuff, yeah, those are the enterprise stuff. So how it happen is, like advanced Java come these things. Your J2E, meaning the whenever you join for J2E, then those things comes under. Yeah. Padmalochan Sahu. Very good.
Hello, I am Padmalochan Sahu.
Yeah.
There is no question.
No
Thank you.
question. Is it clear so far?
Yeah, yeah, I am clear.
Meaning the agenda is clear what you're going to learn.
Yes, yes, very clear.
Okay, so Praveen, okay, Raksa, somebody,
Yes, I am.
yeah, is it clear?
Hmm.
Meaning understanding what you're going to learn, like that should be clear before we start. Okay, Subba Reddy,
Sir,
yeah, any question?
This
no,
is
no, no question.
this is online though. So if I wanted to practice, then advance one, then how to get system from Naresh Technology.
What is that?
If I wanted to practice in my laptop, nothing is installed.
No, we'll be moving forward, like once we start with JDBC, during the JDBC discussion, I'll be talking about like, okay, what are the prerequisites you need to have and what are the things you need to install. And that will be
Yeah,
part of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Is any online system is providing? We need to only.
No, you have to fetch the software on your machine itself.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to just install the thing on your machine. Uh, Binay, any question?
Hello?
No question?
No question, sir.
Okay. That's fine. So yeah, this is the agenda particularly. So I would like to clarify like the agenda is pretty much clear. Okay, and before that,
One question.
like before I move forward, because let me confirm here. We'll be basically moving on this sequence. Our learning will be on this sequence, and I would like to clarify again. JDBC Servlet JSP is part of your curriculum. Okay, this is part of your curriculum. JSTL and EL I bring, like as a kind of bonus for you. Are you understanding or not? Okay, so that is what I'm saying. If you cooperate me enough, if you practice and all these things, okay, every day I'm getting the chance to move forward, like in a frequent way, then I can get time for this JSTL and EL. Okay, so like keep in mind, like as part of your curriculum, these things comes, and I'm bringing especially these two. Okay, no doubt these are not big things; these are small things, but still, like you have to cooperate a lot. Okay, and the sequence is going to be the same. Meaning, first we are going to launch JDBC. Okay, and here I'd like to give you some, like idea how this JDBC learning could be helpful for you. Okay, this JDBC what you're learning, and particularly this advanced Java what you're learning, you have to keep in mind like it is not going to make you any job ready kind of thing. Okay, student, those who are thinking like, okay, after learning advanced Java I become industry grade or I become ready for the industry, that is a myth. Okay, there will never be a job for you in this kind of technology. Okay, then you may think like, okay, then what's the use? I can just skip it. Okay, let me tell you, you cannot skip these things because the technology what you really going, meaning the technology on which you are going to really work on industry, they are based on top of this. That is the relation. Try to understand. Meaning in industry you might be working with frameworks, like you are working with Spring framework, or you are working with Struts framework, or you are working with Hibernate, or you are working with MyBetis. Like these are the different framework in Java platform. Okay, and those frameworks are built on top of these core technology. Okay, so without learning these things, if you're expecting to go and do some wonder, like in the framework side, possibly you can by heart a program, and but you can never understand what is that framework is doing. That's the relation. Okay, and this JDBC, whatever you're learning, it is acting as a core. Okay, it is acting as a basis for many other frameworks such as your ORM frameworks. Okay, ORM frameworks, you take any ORM framework in Java platform. Okay, don't worry about what is this ORM. Okay, any ORM framework you take in Java platform, every ORM framework is built on top of JDBC only. Okay, and in industry you need to work with at least one ORM framework, such as the highly popular one as Hibernate. Okay, so if you just get into Google and search for ORM framework, okay, um, you'll be finding a big list, like ORM technologies, Java, something like that. Okay, and basically go for Wikipedia if you're finding any clue there. No tutorial point, nothing. Yeah, list of object relational mapping software if you look into in Java platform. Okay, particularly on Java platform, if you search for, you see, and these are the bunch of ORM framework. Okay, and every ORM framework, whatever you are seeing here, okay, you can find here the Hibernate one. Okay, so you might be knowing about Spring Hibernate, and people think like, okay, Hibernate is the only ORM in Java platform. Okay, but you can find here a huge list. I can guarantee that all these ORM framework, okay, are built on top of JDBC, meaning underneath they work with JDBC only. So you can understand, like, your learning of JDBC provide a platform for all these technology, like Active JDBC, Active JPA, possibly the Hibernate is the very popular one, and along with that JDO is very popular, and we got some called as MyBetis is very popular, TopLink is very popular. Okay, so you as a student possibly knowing Hibernate. Okay, but there are many more. Okay, there are many more. So your JDBC learning is providing a platform for that, such as Hibernate. Similarly, your learning of servlet. Okay, there is some noise coming up. Yeah, Nitish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what I'm saying. I'm making it interactive. Okay, so you can just put your question on that way. Okay, so what is your question particularly there on the chat?
Sir, I'm asking you कि JDBC is coming from standard edition Java. Why am I studying in here in Java Java E? Why am I studying in Java Advanced Java?
No, let me tell you. Advanced Java, as I said, like there is no such term called Advanced Java from Java ecosystem. It was just designed by the market, to provide a better way of, like, because if you look into complete Java, assume like you are learning like Java SC, Java EE. Then the Java EE stack is a collection of 40 plus technology. Do you think at a time in one go you can capture the 40 plus technology, right?
No,
So
no.
what the market did is it just divided it. Are you understanding me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's just being divided, like, okay, so let us take some more things. So what is happening is JDBC is really one technology from your Java SC platform. But during your core Java, they did not teach you this particular one, right? That means it is being pending there. Not
Yeah.
just JDBC, there are many other technologies which are part of your Java SC platform, but you never been taught. Okay, there are technology like something called as RMI. Okay, so that
Yes.
RMI is not taught to you in your core Java, but it is part of your Java SC platform. Okay, but that RMI will be taught to you whenever you are learning Java EE. So it's all about the adjustment of the technology and correlation between them. And then they make a kind of package. It will be easier and convenient for the discussion. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Yeah. Anyone else putting the question regarding this JDBC and the relation towards the ORM framework?
Thank you, sir.
Anyone putting the question in this regard? JDBC and the relation towards the ORM framework. Yeah, so is this part is clear? What I'm asking is the JDBC and ORM relation. You understood how JDBC is a core component for like the future ORM technology what you might learn. I understand it's very tightly bounded. So if you don't have a clear understanding on JDBC, it's a real problem during the ORM. Okay, so keep that one in mind. And now coming to this technology, particularly servlet. Okay, it is basically heart and soul of many different technology. Okay, meaning what I'm saying is, say like you look into your JSP, okay, you look into your JSTL. So what happens is your JSP is completely built on top of the servlet itself. Meaning the servlet behind the scene, it is a servlet, but like exposed towards the programmer a little bit high abstracted manner, nothing more than that. That means JSP behind the scene is a servlet. So you have to understand this JSP is highly related to the servlet. And your JSTL is built on top of the JSP itself. Understand the hierarchy of the relation. Okay, JSTL is built on top of JSP. JSP is built on top of the servlet. That means these three technology what you are learning, okay, they are correlated and build on top of each other, meaning each other in the sense on that direction. Like JSTL built on top of the JSP, JSP built on top of the servlet. And that is not the like only part. That servlet is acting as a core platform for your JSP and JSTL. Instead, meaning along with that is also acting as a core platform for the web framework whatever you are having. Okay, the servlet is acting as like the core or fundamental platform for your web framework. Okay, in Java platform you'll be finding a lot of like web related framework, okay, such as struts. Okay, struts, velocity, I can say something like velocity. Okay, I can say like your Spring Web MVC. Okay, Spring Web MVC, and so on. The list is very high. Meaning, again, you can understand. Meaning, why I'm saying this one is you have to realize the importance of this technology. If you fail in understanding Hibernate in say like one time, you can again sit and learn. Okay, but if you understood Hibernate, if you assume, but you never understood the JDBC, actually it is a fake understanding. You really never understood Hibernate. What is Hibernate? Okay, so that means before understanding Hibernate, your core should be clear. See, you can understand your core Java, whatever you learn, those are going to act as a core platform for these technology again. Okay, but whenever I'm saying JDBC as a core, I mean to say it is acting as a core or the platform for these ORM framework. Meaning the JDBC itself is built on top of core Java kind of concept, the fundamentals of Java. But taking this JDBC as a fundamental, the ORM frameworks are built. So this is the relation. Similarly, if you look into the servlet is again built on top of your core, like programming of Java language. That means your core Java is still necessary for your servlet. But if you're learning the servlet properly, then you are building a platform where you understand the Java platform web framework. There are many web frameworks such as Struts, Velocity, Spring Web MVC. I think you might be clearly aware about this one, like Struts. You might be hearing about Spring and all these things. Okay, so those are purely built on top of servlet. Meaning, whenever I'm saying top of servlet, meaning internally they work with servlet. The concept of servlet is required there. Okay, but possibly like the complexity of like I think you might be knowing about the concept of abstraction. This is all about abstraction. Meaning whenever a technology looks very redundant, very complex, what happens is like they come out with some more high-end advanced abstracted component. That is what here like Spring MVC or Struts or Hibernate, they're doing the same thing. Meaning while working with JDBC, you will be realizing a lot of complexity, lot of boilerplateness, lot of redundant stuff. Okay, and those things are eliminated in Hibernate. But Hibernate behind this in huge JDBC, it tackle those complexity, but give you an interface where you realize the things as simple. I understand, and that's the way the technology build. Like as simple like taking like a raw component, building little sharper thing, taking that sharper one, building the sharpest thing kind of thing. Okay, so the same thing happening. Servlet, you will be realizing, okay, it's a very, like low level technology, it's a mess and all these things you'll be realizing. I mean, possibly as a student, you will never realize in the beginning days. You'll be thinking like, okay, possibly the technologies are on that way. Okay, but like, as you put that one in practice and you start working on industry using the servlet, developing web application, you will be realizing, okay, servlet is really a mess. Like, I don't want to work with the servlet or this much boilerplate, this much low level thing. I want some high end thing. Okay, so that is where this framework kind of things comes into picture. So your advanced Java learning, like, is really a gateway for your top level technology. Okay, whatever the top level technology you can think of, possibly except web service. Okay, web service is not having a lot of relation, but still web service is having relation towards servlet also. Okay, but technically speaking, like web service sit little independent there, but having a small relation towards servlet. Okay, so this is the relation. The JSTL, as I said, but EL is a small expression language what you're going to learn. Okay, so this is the relationship and what is the importance of this technology. Meaning, if you don't learn this one, then what happens is you cannot build a path for these things. And again, like for the student, those who are like in a hurry to learn other technology, I can just give you a clarity that after I finish the JDBC, your path towards Hibernate is open. Okay, you don't need to worry about anything. If you learn JDBC completely, meaning once I say, okay, JDBC is done, even Servlet and JSP are not yet started. Okay, if you are interested, you can just start Hibernate. But you cannot start Hibernate Spring or you cannot start Struts after finishing JDBC. You must finish the Servlet, JSP before getting into Struts and Spring. I find particularly students do this mistake. They start learning advanced Java, they started, and parallelly they started Struts or something else. Okay, that's a mistake. So you should have a clear clarity which technology is related to which one. Are you understanding now? Any question you'd like to raise on this part, the relationship between all these technologies? I repeat again, Servlet, on top of your Servlet, the JSP is built. On top of your JSP, the JSP is built. Okay, and these three relation, like will drive towards the web framework finally. Yeah, one by one, if at all you are having any question. So now I need to start with the JDBC. Okay, but what I'm thinking is I'll not start the JDBC today. Okay, but yeah, so I'm just giving 10 minutes of time so that you can talk to me, just convey your understanding such that I can plan accordingly. Because like how you're going to learn is as I said, like the sequence is all in front of you. You'll be doing JDBC, then Servlet, JSP, JSTL, EL. But how I'll be doing is it's pretty much like a classroom kind of activity. Don't think it is an online kind of one. Okay, in classroom, how we used to teach, exactly the same way. I will always try to communicate, okay, such that your questions and all these things, the doubts, and I can clear all these things. But one thing you have to understand here, how it is different than the classroom is, in classroom, we used to give, like running note, like we used to say some statement and they used to write on the note. Okay, that is the only thing will not be here. Okay, then you may say like, okay, so this technology will be teaching and will not have anything with us and will not write anything, then how it will work? See, for that reason, I'll be giving you some Google Docs. Okay, so yeah, that is what I opened up, I guess, just to show you. Okay, so for every technology, I have already written some Google Docs. Actually, these are meaning these are the live class. Whenever I used to teach the student, I used to write. Meaning earlier, initially I used to do on that way. For every student, I used to write. But because you cannot say from here and someone writing in America, that's not possible. So that's the reason I used to write. Okay, but later I decided instead of repeatedly writing, I just adopt some object-oriented pattern here. Okay, I thought like, okay, let us write once and share with many, and that is there. Okay, so for every technology, I'll be sharing one Google Docs with you. Okay, and this Google Docs contains pretty much everything, because I'd like to clarify, you may have a small doubt like, okay, it's just a kind of hands-on note and all these things. It's not that. It's just your advanced, sorry, it is your JDBC actually. If you can just look down here. Okay, actually it is the JDBC document. You can understand here. It's a JDBC TXT, and it is around 100-page document. Okay, so you are not really losing anything. It's only you who need to think about yourself, that how you're going to practice, how much time you need to spend. That is the only thing you need to consider. Okay, but from my side in this document, there's a lot of stuff being added. Okay, and every example is also there. That's the like benefit for me. The examples are there, so you can follow along the example. But as far as the examples is concerned, like I'll be always writing the example in front of you, executing that. So there will never be a situation where, okay, I'm just saying follow that document. I never do on that way. Okay, so I'll be always writing in front of you, executing code in front of you. So that part will be there. Okay, and a lot of explanations and all those things are there. Okay, so you got to prepare yourself. Okay, you can understand here it's 105 pages of document. So I think for JDBC kind of technology, 100 pages is enough. Okay, so and in other side, like whenever I'm starting a particular technology, I'll be talking about the version. Okay, so similarly, you can understand here we got one, like servlet document, JSP document. Pretty much for every technology there is a document. Okay, you can just observe here. So I think this is going to make your life pretty much easier. Like you don't need to write anything, just follow along, get some lead time and read that document and understand. But concentrate much more on coding. And yeah, if you can fetch one book and just following that, that is also a good thing. Okay, it might be around 100 plus pages. Okay, and similarly JSP and all these things. So you never lose anything. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, any question? So this is my way of teaching particularly that I want to clarify. So you are not going to write anything. You have the opportunity to write anything as a running note if you are thinking. But from my side, what I used to basically give the note in the classroom, the same thing I already placed here in these documents. Okay, so no worry about that. Yeah, it goes on. It might be around 100 plus pages, 100%. No doubt on that. Okay. Yeah, I think there will be a second one also on Google. I mean, on Servlet there is a second document also available. Two document, 97, and there will be second one. Okay. So this is the way these things are organized. Yes.
Are you going to provide recording sections for us?
See, recording part, I really don't take that responsibility. You just check out in this software if at all there is any option of recording, because I don't get much time on that regard, particularly recording and then sending, like that time I don't have much more. Okay, so I don't object on that particular part, like you don't record or all these things. You just check out actually if at all you are having any option on that, you can just record it. Okay, otherwise you can find some like external recording software which can record your screen and as well as the voice and all these things. So you can just do a small Google search on that. That is permitted. But don't expect from me. I'll never do that. The question is, are you understood what you're going to learn? How you're going to learn? That part I'm asking. Okay, so on that regard, if you're having any questions, put it. But like I'll be starting with the JDBC tomorrow onward to be confirmed. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you will be teaching like Spring and Hibernate too, like frameworks, but it's okay. We need to go through the JDBC first so that we can learn Spring like
Yeah,
Hibernate
meaning,
later.
see, that is where the relation I established here. Meaning you need to know, like, okay, do you know JDBC?
No.
But then you have to go through. There is no way. Because if you go for Hibernate or Spring directly, what happens is, see, it is very easy to convince you that, okay, you go for Spring and Hibernate and you'll never have a doubt. That's very easy to convince you. The point is, you'll really miss the technological relation. You'll never understand what is happening behind the scene, why you are doing something in certain way. Like you'll never know. But if you know that JDBC and Hibernate, someone says, okay, Hibernate use JDBC behind the scene, certain configuration will be there. You can easily understand, okay, this is for internal JDBC, right? So the technical gap will not be there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Without knowing JDBC, we can't go through Hibernate, and without knowing servlets, we can't go through like Spring or
No.
like that. Yeah.
Spring is having some modules, like Spring is having different modules, such as your IO module, AOP module. Those are independent module, like they don't have this kind of technical relation. They themselves are new technology, a new concept. So those things you can learn, but there are many areas. In Spring CLI, there are around 6 or 7 modules. Out of the 2 modules, you can learn just by having the core Java knowledge. Okay, but there are other 4 modules you can never touch. like they are related to the JDBC related technologies are there, servlet related technologies are there within the Spring. So you cannot learn them properly. So yeah, this is the relationship. So yeah, if this is fine, so I like to stop. This is just a kind of intro, like what you're learning. It's not a subject intro, okay? It's just an intro towards like what is there and how we are going to move. Okay, so on that regard. So tomorrow, instead of like again coming into this one, I'd like to directly start with JDBC, explaining what is JDBC and moving forward. Okay, and before starting the JDBC, some more prerequisite I can explain. Particularly for JDBC, I'm talking about. For JDBC, I expect you to have some basic idea about SQL, meaning what do you call like like some database like MySQL you can think of, or Oracle. Okay, I'm not expecting like a master kind of knowledge, but some beginners kind of knowledge. Okay, like understanding basic SQL commands. Okay, like what is select statement, what is insert, update, delete, and meaning how to work with them, and creating a table or something like that. So those kind of thing you must be habituated with. Okay, I think you can just get into the W3 school for the basic. Okay, w3schools.com. So to get some basic idea about the SQL commands, there will be a SQL channel for that. So you can just follow along and you can just get some idea. Okay, and along with that, like if you are in a hurry, you can download either MySQL or Oracle. Okay, so I will be always working with Oracle database. Okay, but for you, like if you're not having any idea about any database, okay, possibly MySQL could be one choice. It looks a little easier and all these things. Okay, if you're having some database idea with you, okay, such as Oracle or anything, then that will be much better. But anyone, those who are following Oracle, then they are syncing with me properly, because no doubt, like I'll be showing you everything through Oracle, but our program never changed, whether you work with MySQL or Oracle or anything else. The same program, but the only thing you need to concentrate like those connection parameters. Okay, so I'll be explaining like how to realize those things, and okay, but like some database is important. These are the prerequisite for your JDBC. Okay, so having some amount of idea about the SQL command, basically like insert, update, delete, in like a table, those kind of stuff, and you can get those things from here, and one database at least. You can take any database. I repeat again, don't think MySQL or Oracle, but I'll be using Oracle. But for you as a newbie, if you're not having any idea on Oracle database or any other database, possibly MySQL could be one choice for you. Okay, so whenever I give a statement, I give it very clearly and very seriously. So that means don't misunderstand, our JDBC learning is limited to these two databases. Okay, so you can use the JDBC to communicate with any possible databases from your application. Okay, but like it's all about how many databases that you can practice and check out and all these things. Okay, so as part of my responsibility, I'll be showing you one database. Take some database, understand these variable things, and just communicate and start doing the things on the database. But whenever a new database is coming, you just need to change those variable part. And while connecting to Oracle, there are some Oracle specific detail you have to explain. While you are working with MySQL, you have to explain JDBC about MySQL specific detail. If you're working with SQL Server, you have to specify some SQL Server specific detail. So those variable part you have to concentrate. Meaning I'll focus on that part, but yeah, this is a small prerequisite you have to gather. I don't think like any other question. If at all, you can just raise. Otherwise, I'd like to stop.
So by when you will be completing this course?
Yeah, that's a good question. So see, mostly I expect, because there are 7+, I guess, including me and Naresh Technology. So it is 9. That means there are 7 students. So the point is, like it's all about your momentum. Like I can move as fast you expect. I can go as slow you expect. Okay, so all depends how you are driving. It's a very simple fundamental of teaching from my side. If a student is moving, I'm moving. Okay, if you're not moving, I'm very slow. Meaning, like I have to assure that one thing, the student is understanding the concept. That's the only thing from my side. But it is not like, okay, it is, I never think this as my job actually. Okay, it is not my job to come log in at 8 o'clock and log out at 9 o'clock. It's never my job. My job is to ensure that the students, those who are with me, they're practicing, they're understanding, and they're becoming, like eligible for, like this technology, so that they can say that I know it. That is my intention always. So at least 2 months think of. Okay, see, if you're thinking like it might be little lengthier or things like that, then as I already said, like after JDBC you start with Hibernate. Start moving parallel. They're getting me on. So but if you take like less time here, okay, then what happen is it's a halfway learning always. You learn few things, and that's a very bad thing. Okay, so and it is very like important to know that we are always going to discuss the latest version. Okay, in JDBC we'll be discussing about the 4.0. I mean, I'll be showing you like how I'm showing you here Wikipedia, and putting a comparison between the technology what you're having, and you can understand from here the different version what you're having here. Okay, so Servlet is 3.1, so I'll be teaching you 3.1. Okay, so meaning we'll be concentrating on Servlet 3.0, okay, and 3.1. That will be our understanding. Similarly, JSP 2.x, just observe the Java server pages is JSP 2.3, so we'll be concentrating on that. So this is one very important thing I always consider, because we are always discussing the latest version what is coming up there. Okay, and that's always with a proof, actually proof in the sense like you'll be realizing, okay, some JDBC 4.0 new feature we are dealing with, 3.0 or 3.1 new feature we are dealing with. Okay, it is not like putting you always in the dark, like, okay, you never know what you are learning. That's my like goal always. The students should know what they are learning. Okay, so I'm coming and shouting something and going away. That's not the part. Okay, so that is what I'm saying. You got to, there is a lot of thing on your shoulder, actually, very few thing in my shoulder. Okay, I can teach JDBC like in 15 sessions, but are you really capable to take that load and go? I don't understand, because we may have a session say like 1 hour, 10 minutes or 15 minutes kind of thing. Okay, so in that, whatever we did, you have to, like practice it, capitalize that. Okay, and because you can understand, like after giving some statement, I'll be, like putting the question. So meaning from now onwards, like tomorrow onward, it will not be, okay, so this basic question, so there will be some subject related question, whatever I explain. Right? So you have to give me that answer. From that answer, I should realize, okay, the students are grabbing the thing properly. Right? So I expect these things as 2 months. Okay, so 2 months could be the better permutation. Okay, but anything less than that is a kind of injustice, particularly because below 2 months we cannot finish it, because it's becoming around 5 or 6 technology, right? So 3 to 5 technology. So JDBC, if you're thinking of 15 days, Servlet if you're thinking 15 or 20 days, Servlet if you're thinking of 1 month or 20 days, JSP 10 days. Then these things, if you think of 5-6 days, it's becoming easily 2 months plus. Are you understanding?
So if I want to go for Hibernate, is it okay to learn only JDBC or do I need to learn servlets also?
No, for Hibernate it is not required. What I'm saying is, after JDBC completed, if you're having a time constraint with you, what you can do, you can start Hibernate, right? By the time you're, let me tell you, Hibernate and JDBC is one part of this entire process. If you think about the industries and the application development there, then what happens is, like you are much more either in the enterprise application development or web application development. Okay, so if it is enterprise application, you have to go for Spring or EJB kind of thing. Okay, if it is web application, you have to either work with Struts framework or Spring MVC. So Hibernate and JDBC as a combination, like there's no space for that. There is no such position available. Only like someone who knows JDBC and Hibernate is working. Never possible. Okay, so you have to go through this web technology as well as enterprise technology. But like your Spring itself is capable of enterprise scale application. So if you're learning Spring, then you are making yourself complete. Wait, let me give you the combination. Okay, the combination is like this. After this advanced Java, your real technology was going to work with within the industry start. So you are either working with in industry, We are working with either Spring Hibernate combination with web service. Up of here. Okay, web services. Okay, or you may work with Struts with EJB with web services. Okay. This is the combination. Anyone, okay, working on some development part I'm talking about, not on some support or anything like that. Those who are in the real development, this is the combination. Either you will work with Spring, here also Hibernate is required. So either you choose for this combination, okay, and the market is much more for this combination, Spring Hibernate with web service, okay, and or you choose for this combination where there is a less market for this. Why? Because EJB is not that much popular nowadays. Struts is losing its charm little bit. So on that direction, you know, like the market is much more for this particular one, first one, okay. So you have to make yourself capable of all these three things. Okay, so only learning JDBC, then coming to Hibernate and not going for Servlet and Spring kind of framework is a wrong decision again. Are you getting me, Anna? Okay.
So what is the technology for web services? There's a technology for JDBC for
No. For web services, as I said, there is a small relation towards the Servlet. Beyond that, it itself is a new technology.
Can you come again?
What I'm saying is, for web service, you need to have a little knowledge of the Servlet. Some basics of the Servlet is required. Basic understanding of the web application. And after that, it itself is a new technology. It's a kind of new platform. I mean, altogether, it's a new platform, but it is having a small relation towards the Servlet. You cannot say web service is completely built on top of this Servlet as an idea. Okay, so it itself you have to consider as a new technology. So while you are learning web service, you'll be learning new things, a lot of new things, but with a small relation to Servlet.